Welcome to another episode of the Elite Investor Show, where we interview some of Tampa's top real estate investors, entrepreneurs, and developers. Joined here today by my close friend and colleague, Matan Khalaf. Matan, you've been involved in a lot of different entrepreneurial endeavors. And I think today I want to dive into the raw, unfiltered, uncensored, hard part about entrepreneurship. The dark days, the days when you're spent working towards something and you're not really sure what's going to come of it. Can we go there today?
That feels like it's every week.
Feels like it's every week?
Every week is a little bit of something like that. But yeah, we could definitely dive into that. And thank you for having me here.
Yeah, man. Glad to have you here.
Yep.
Something that has always stood out in the time that I've known you is like you have this uncanny sense of like remaining calm. So I think up front, like I try to really dig in to things with guests on this show.
Okay.
In terms of their individual personality and like some of their characteristics and what makes them the way that they are in business. And
Okay.
everybody has their own unique things. Have you always been like that?
No, I haven't. Where I definitely noticed a change of where I started being able to handle multiple things at once and my stresses and just dealing with people and how I talked. I can like pinpoint it to the year I was 26 years old. And from there, I've been on like a journey of trying to just dial myself in, right? Like perfect myself, hold myself accountable.
How old are you
now? I'm 35.
All right.
About to be 36 next month.
Okay.
But before that, I would let stuff get to me. I would stress out, oh, am I on the right path? Am I where I need to be? You know, I had super high highs and then I had super low lows before that. But everything, and we can dive into anything, but everything, good, bad, everything that happened has led me to who I am today, my integrity, my character, how I conversate with people, and just the life that I'm striving for and working towards.
Let's go into some of those lessons. Do you have any that stand out that are poignant for you? Like I don't have a full grasp on all the stuff you've done as an entrepreneur, but like the neural internet thing, I believe, is one. And then you had the shoe shop in the mall. I don't know if I'm saying it the right way. But,
Yeah, sneaker store. Yeah.
Sneaker store.
Shoe store.
And then I know you did your 6-unit renovation up in Ohio, and now you're doing your renovation, labor force, and some of your own flips here in Tampa. And then you also had the wholesaling thing with Raphael, but I think you guys kind of shifted that to
Correct.
to the flip. Okay, so let's just go chronologically. Like, what happened at 26?
So I'd have to start a little bit before that,
Okay.
but it's a little bit deep and private. But before, when I was 18, when I was 17 years old, my mom kicked me out the house, right? And we're just gonna jump in. I'm gonna jump over a few things. At 18, I was doing my own thing, not really living the most wholesome life or just the best path.
Okay.
And so she tells me, we start talking after like 6 months again. She's like, oh, get a trade, you know? And then that's how I started doing HVAC. I went to HVAC and electrician school,
Okay.
and I got that trade, which this will kind of lead me into, you said like, oh, do you have any lessons? Like everything leads to something. You just have to like trust like in God, trust in yourself, and that you're on the right path. So that led me to my next thing. I met somebody and he owned marijuana dispensaries. In 2012, I was 21, give or take. And he was like, oh, this guy messed it up. Can you come do my air conditioning for me? I was like, sure, you know. Then he's like, this guy messed up the whole grow. Do you know how to grow? I went out on a limb. I told him, yeah. I didn't at all, right?
Okay.
I went on Reddit. I ran on forums, you know, and I have confidence in myself, right?
Yeah.
So I can do the electric. I did the air conditioning, HVAC system, and it was all legal grow. So at this time, medical marijuana just got passed and everything, and so
You're saying it was all legal?
legal. It was illegal.
It was
Legal.
hold on. Let's just make sure we clarify this, because saying those words fast, you can misunderstand. It was legal.
It was a legal grow.
It was not illegal.
It was not illegal.
Okay, all right. There we go.
Thank you for clarifying. So basically, I taught myself within a couple weeks by reading forums, you know, and then I did a really good job, and he offered me, he's like, hey, do you want to go into business with me? We opened 3 dispensaries at the time, and I was young, 21, 22. So that was really when I took off, and that taught me a lot. But then between there, like between 21 to 25, I had smoke shops and other stuff, and just like kind of businesses like that. Then 25, I lose everything, right?
Okay.
A little under $500,000. And then from 25 to 26, I moved back in with my grandma. I've been living by myself since 17. I moved back in with my grandma and my aunt lived together in an apartment, so I moved into their apartment. All out of money, just like down and out, suicidal at the time, just how can I restart, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I was only 25, but you feel like after you have so much, there's no way I'll be able to get it back. I prayed to God at that time, please show me a way forward, and please let me even just get back to here. And everything, once you start trusting in the process and the faith, then it leads you to the next step, which led me to my next step, which brought me back to a substantial amount of income and doing that. And I moved to a new state, and then at the time I got married, which led me to Tampa. And since a young kid, since 2001, I've been collecting sneakers, but not like for reselling or anything like that. But just I just like sneakers. Like I remember moving here and to America when I was 6 years old, and I got made fun of a lot. But back in the day, Kobe was just becoming like a rookie, and like you were cool. Like we would trade basketball cards, so you were cool if you had like the new shoes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like,
Where'd you move from?
I was born in South Africa and moved from Israel, then to Israel, and then from Israel to Phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then I had to learn English and all that, so that was hard. So I got made fun of a lot. So like having the sneakers, having that like, in 2001, having the Jordan 1 breads that just dropped that Michael Jordan has, you know, that was like, you're like cool at school. So I always like would like that, I guess that like triggered a hustle mentality in me to be like, like I want that stuff, right? But I never knew it could become a business. So now we're fast forwarding to 2016, and I'm just collecting sneakers, and the sneaker industry's blowing up, and I started a sneaker store the next year.
What year was it?
2018 I started. 2017 I was just kind of compiling all my sneakers and Supreme and other streetwear stuff.
Okay. And so you launched in 2018. You launched the sneaker store in one of the malls in Tampa.
I launched in downtown Tampa.
In downtown Tampa.
My first store was in downtown Tampa. Okay. It was by invite, VIP only.
Really?
So I was gearing it more towards football players, more towards athletes, you know, artists in Tampa and people who had money, big businessmen or women. And so I would invite them, you want a drink, you want this, whatever you want. Like you could call me at 2 a.m. and you just want to show off with your friends and spend money. So I made it more of a shopping experience than an actual store. Okay. Right? Which people love, but it didn't have that foot traffic or the turnover. Okay. Then comes 2020 COVID. I get an amazing chance to open a store in the mall, which they didn't want a sneaker store in the mall because of the negative, negative like stigma that comes with like the people and everyone that comes with a sneaker store, you know, in International Mall. Okay. So I go to them, and during COVID, the mall is completely closed. I don't know if you guys remember, this is International Mall.
Not a big mall guy.
So International Mall was completely closed, and no sneaker stores in Tampa were able to get in there because they kicked one out the year before, right? So I went to them, and I got a hold of the guy who does their leasing, and I said, look, I'll start paying. I don't know if you guys are gonna open in a year or a month, but I'll take the risk. If you give me a store to open up a sneaker store, I'll start paying rent now. And I also negotiated a rent that was unheard of in International Mall.
Calculated risk.
It was a calculated risk, and that's my whole life.
Okay.
So, which paid off. So for a month while COVID was closed, me and my ex-girlfriend built the whole store by ourselves. For 2 a.m., 3 a.m., we're there every
Well,
day.
you mentioned you were married earlier.
So me and her got divorced.
Okay.
I'm already in Tampa with my shoe store by the time. I have friends, so it's like,
Okay.
then I have a new girlfriend coming into COVID. We're just friends at the time, but that's how our relationship built. And we built the shoe store out. Every day we're there till 2 or 3 a.m.
Okay.
By ourselves, just building it. 1 or 2 friends pulled up and helped, but like we really just built it from the ground up.
Yeah.
A month later, everything opened back up in Florida. So everyone wanted to like come outside and go to the clubs, go to bars, restaurants, and just be outside. Mm-hmm. And everyone had PPP money. And at the time, everyone was getting free money.
Yeah.
So I had people that have never had probably $200 to their names coming in with money out their pockets, $10,000, $20,000. And I think the first month we did 400,000.
400,000 in 1 month
in sales, not net, gross.
In sales, wow.
In sales.
How many pairs of shoes is that?
I had $1.2 million in inventory and another 400,000 in consignor inventory.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and I made sure a lot of the shoe stores you see now, they'll have like 10 pairs of the same pair. I had every one pair and then sizes behind it in the back, but I had like multiple, like I had a wide variety of like you're looking for. You could go 20-year-old shoe or the brand new shoe drop. So I was catering to everybody, and like even if you didn't have $1,000, $500 for a shoe, I got $50 shirts. So I made sure, like, my thing is, I remember going into a store as a kid and feeling like, oh, they're too cool, or I don't know enough. You know, I'm with my mom shopping. So everybody, no matter if you're a football player or you're a little kid with your mom shopping, you're gonna feel like you're a VIP. Everyone gets greeted. Everyone leaves with something though, you know? So that was my, if you're standing there and you're not talking to somebody or like greeting somebody or like, you know, and there's no stupid questions, like you're doing something wrong as my employee.
That was the culture of your team?
Correct.
Okay.
And so, like going into that, like I had 7 employees.
Yeah.
Right? That was the first time. So from 26 to now, I'm like 30, 31. And I've been crafting just how I interact with people and just how I deal with stress during those 5 years and really dialing it in.
Yeah.
Now I have 7 employees. I have a multi-million-dollar business that I don't know anything. Like I didn't know about sales taxes. I didn't know about anything. And people laughed at me, but I have had no one to teach me.
Yeah.
I've learned my whole life by messing up and trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
And holding myself accountable. Okay, I'm not gonna do that again. So then I really realized like, oh wow, I'm actually pretty good at this. I have 7 different personalities. I have to kind of craft them and build them up and talk to them in their own ways.
Not your personalities, your team, your teammates.
Yes, thank you. I had 7 different employees and 7 different personalities of each employee and how they would interact with people and just like do stuff. So like I just remember like I might be having a bad day inside, whether it's like personal or like other business stuff going on, and I wouldn't show up with that to the table, right? Even if some bad stuff happened or a lot of conflict happened in the store, I treated everything as they don't know what I'm going through, right? So I can't like spew that onto them and just lose it because I have a personal problem in my house or I just lost a family member. Like I have to show up just like face value of who they're in front of right then and talk to them. So I learned a lot of dealing with people, but everything like from a young age till then and all the hardships has taught me, you know, and like all my losses, all my business dealings, good and bad, have really taught me how to interact with the people and really put myself in their shoes too, instead of just be like, no, this is the one way I see it.
Yeah.
Well, where are they seeing it from? Like, what is their point of view? Not saying I'm like, oh, they're right or I'm wrong, but let me just take in the whole picture and understand how I can put it all together so both sides can just meet where we need to.
Okay. So you're no longer doing the shoot thing, so like what ended up happening?
So the shoe thing, that was super misunfortunate. I built it. We did a little over $4 million in gross that year. And then at the end of the year, when it came time to sign the lease, they said, oh, we're giving your shoe store to another shoe store. So I was just like, what do you mean? Like, we just built this store out. like you took a risk on, like we took a risk on you, you took a risk on us, so why would you do that? And he's like, oh, they signed a 16 store deal with Simon and Tauber Mall across the country.
And did your lease end?
My lease was only a 1-year lease. That's the deal. So with International Mall, you pay percentage break point on your sales, and if you don't have a permanent lease, which they usually don't offer unless you're like a big corporation like Louis or like a big store, you have a temporary lease. So every year you're reselling your lease. If I was at the mall by USF, University Mall, I could have got a permanent lease for, forever for cheap. But since we're in International, it didn't work like that. So then I thought something was funny. I offered them $20,000 more than I was paying already because I got a great deal, sweet deal on the lease, and they turned me down. So I contacted the owner of that shoe store, and his response was, oh, you're the reason I opened my shoe store in Connecticut. I came to Clearwater with my girlfriend, and I met you. You're such a nice guy, and I opened the shoe store in Connecticut. His dad's friend owned a hedge fund, and his dad was friends with Mr. Tauburn, who owned part of Simon Mall. So because of politics, right, I got pushed to the side, and they just had the right connections, and I didn't. I built it from the ground up, and then they had someone that gave them $15 million to open 16 stores.
Okay.
So lost the shoe store. The last week we were open, the shoe store got robbed, and I lost $200,000. I walk in, like that night I see it on camera. I like race there, meet the cops there and all that. Lost $200,000, stuff that you will never be able to replicate or buy again, like collector's items that I've collected over the years. The next day, people thought it was funny because I laugh, and I'm just, I'm not down about it. Like I've taken so many hits in my life that I'm used to taking losses, but it's how we take losses that like matter, right? If we learn from it and we don't just let it like stress us out and like, oh, it's the end all situation. Like, it was my fault. I should have had a sensor in the back hallway, like a motion sensor. I didn't. They broke through the wall like Ocean's 11. And so I hold myself accountable, Yeah. And it's my fault. And so
did you have like insurance? How's that work?
I had insurance, but once again, I didn't know about business. I was paying $1,900 a month for insurance. I have emails to the insurance guy while all the riots were going on the year before. Hey, I have almost $2 million of inventory. I need to up my theft limit. He put me at a theft sub limit of $25,000, and he made my limit if the mall collapses to $2 million. And I had emails, right? And that goes into a whole nother story of like a lawsuit and all that, but my business partner ran off with the money, cashed a check from the insurance company. I turned down the check because I was gonna sue them. I had a lawyer that said I could sue them all for $250,000, sue the insurance company for $250,000, and I turned down the $25,000 check. After they sent auditors, investigators, everything, I gave them all the books, everything was up front. They're like, oh, we'll pay you the most we can pay you, $25,000. I was like, I won't take it. My business partner at the time took that money and other money and ran off.
So what'd you end up doing?
I took the hit. And learned from it.
But I don't understand the part I'm not understanding is, from what you just said, it seems like you refused the $25K in the pursuit of a higher amount.
So there's more that goes into that. During that time, it's just a waiting game. I sell all the shoes. I have a few people that are coming into the store. I see them spending a lot of money, and I'm like, what do you guys do? They're truck drivers.
Okay.
So I'm picking their brain. I know nothing about trucks. I know nothing about that business, but they're like, oh, we're roughly making around $10,000 a truck. And this is right after COVID. Now we're going into 2022. I took 6 months. I got my CDL, not to drive, but just to understand what truckers go through, or if I need to drive, I can hop behind the wheel. I get all the licensing. It took me 6 months to open up. You have to get like tax licensing in every state you're gonna drive through, record those mileage from the electronic device and all that stuff, and report in every state and pay those taxes. The week I open, the week I open, all rates go down on flatbed trucks.
Like drastically?
Drastically, from $4 a mile to $2 to $2.20 a mile, $2.50 a mile, which is $2 is my break even. So I'm calculating like I'm gonna make all this money. I think I met you at the time in the sauna, and I'm like, oh, in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'll just start with one truck, then I'll get 5 trucks. I'll be making $50,000 a month. Like I'm okay. Like I could live off that.
Yeah.
And then I've really, really badly miscalculated and misstepped and didn't look at the bigger picture, which was there was a gold rush and backed up inventory at the ports, and that's why they're paying so much. Mm-hmm. So then we run for 6 months, we take a loss. I talked one of my friends into investing $50,000. He took a loss. That was all his money, and so I paid him back. So overall, I lost $115,000.
Okay.
Right, and then I lost over that whole year of 2022 to 2023. I lost almost $1,800,000 in different investments.
What were you doing?
340 in crypto and NFTs.
Did you realize it?
Did I realize it?
Like, did you sell? You only lose when you sell.
No, I still have that.
But they became worthless?
They're like 30,000 right now. I still have hope in my mind. I'm like, oh, if I could pull 100 from that, I'll just take the 100. But if it happens, it's gonna happen in this bull run. But I just chalked it up as a loss at that time, right?
You got big into the NFT game?
Got super big into the NFT game.
Okay.
340,000, right? And then I tried to help a friend out from back home, and he's been in and out of trouble. So I tried to invest in a business that we could start by building classic cars with a stepdad. Lost 50,000 in that, you know. So everything all in 1 year compiled to like loss after loss after loss, not one win. Okay. Right? Down 800. I'm down to my last $100,000, right? But this is like, I don't even count that as money. That's just, I'll never touch that money.
Okay.
Right? So then there's like a lot of other businesses and losses in between that. But then from, I kind of said earlier, like it's really about your character and your integrity. There was I did a launch with somebody for an NFT, and it was a local artist, and he kind of just left everyone like with their money that they spent, and didn't keep up to his promises. And I was involved in that, so I paid everybody out because it was all in Tampa and St. Pete. Mm-hmm. So I took a loss. I paid the developers. One of the developers saw me like, hey, you didn't have to do that. Why did you do that? I was like, it's the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. I could take a loss. I'll always make more money, but that's my name. Well, he ended up starting a software company. I know nothing about development, software, anything. For 3 months, these guys, these like software developers are talking to me, like trying to explain to me, this is how we're gonna combine AI and blockchain together. Mm-hmm. My mind is hurting when they're calling me and talking to me. Okay. And I'm just like, oh, bro, I gotta go after like 30 minutes. I have a headache, you know? Yeah. Not thinking anything of it. It took 3 months. 1 month, one phone call, it clicked. I'm like, oh my God, like if this came to fruition, this is life-changing. Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, what do you want from me? And he's like, we want you to handle the sales and business end of it. Okay. And just bring in the connections. Okay. So like, perfect. Like I know nothing about development. Like, you know, like I'm stupid when it comes to that. Okay. So then I'm like, all right. So that was February of 2023, right? All right. I put my last 100,000 into a supercomputer. It was $300,000 plus $300,000 of finance and insurance and hosting fees. Should be a movie. Right? I kept all the good stuff out. All right. The other stuff is like a movie that I didn't talk about. And then I put it into a supercomputer, right? And this is the stuff that's powering ChatGPT. When you put it on a prompt, it doesn't just spit it out. You need compute power. Okay. Just like the GPUs and the cards that are powering your video games or people's video games and the graphics. Mm-hmm. This is a super like duper one times like 1,000. Mm-hmm. And it's more an analytical like data, you know, driven and number driven. So at the time, NVIDIA dropped an H100, that's what it was called. It was $300,000 plus the finance plus everything. So we locked in for a $600,000 contract. We needed $100,000 down. None of them had it. I put the last $100,000
Into what?
into that supercomputer.
But that was only down payment. It was actually 600
That was just
grand.
a down payment. We owed $50,000 a month.
You owed
Or
50,000.
no, what, a quarter or a month? No, a quarter. I apologize.
50K a quarter to pay it off.
50. Yeah, and it was like over like a few years or something like that. I'd have to
Okay.
go back and look at the terms.
Okay.
And I could be mistaken, but it was something like I remember sending 50K every so often.
Yeah.
But from February 2022 or February 2023 to around October, the business was slow and we weren't making money, right? So now I'm like, oh shit, I'm down to my last pennies. Like I'm back broke again. The third time in my life, like, you know, I'm broke.
Yeah.
And just like, how did I get here? Depressed a little bit. And then October, the business takes off. And then we're making an insane amount of money, more money than I've ever seen in any other business.
Okay.
Right? And there's 9 of us and we all did really well. So like we did crazy well.
Did you sell it?
Splitting it 9. I exited a couple months ago, like 3 months ago.
Did you do good?
I did better over the span of the business than my actual exit.
Okay.
There was a lot of egos and stuff butting heads between the 9 people, and I was like a therapist in between everybody. So I negotiated everyone's exit. I bought out a couple people's shares first, and then I negotiated everyone's exit so the main one that started it all could have it and just run it the way he wanted to. So, but it changed my life, and you know, I came back, and when
How well did you do?
what?
Like, how well did you do? Can you answer that?
More money than I've ever made.
Like, we talking multi 6 figures in a 1 year period.
Seven.
What was this period?
It was February 22nd, 2023. I opened, and then whatever a few months ago was of 2025.
So Feb 2023 to
Yep.
like Feb 2025.
Yeah.
So about 2 years.
Yo.
Multi 7 figures.
Yeah, but I take risk and I gamble, and
Yeah.
I've told you this before. A lot of my payments, I didn't take cash like the other owners, and I reverted it back into crypto. So into the crypto that the company builds off of, because I'm so confident in what that ecosystem was doing that I believed in it. So I got in at $45 and it went up to 700. Now it's at 440, 430 today, but pretty soon I'll be exiting around like 7 to 1,000. With God and everything going right.
Yeah.
All catalyst.
So as you're making money, you just would put it into crypto every time.
I took out around like 700, and that's how I got into the building, right? But let me backtrack a little bit, bro. I don't even know if you want to post this. I'm like all over the place. This is more just for you to learn who I am.
I didn't know about 80% of this.
Yeah, there's a lot more. So
Yeah.
I'm like skipping a lot, but it's hard for me to just
Yeah.
think of everything without like preparing it first.
Yeah.
So when I met you was like the end of 2021, 2022, I think, and I was starting the trucking company, give or take.
Okay, it's
Like-
probably a year later. It's probably
Okay.
the end of 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I remember like, I'll be like, oh, I'm doing this trucking company. So it was like mid-year 2022, end of 2022.
Yeah.
So at that time, before that, I've done a flip and a new build. In 2018, I did a flip, and I like set a new comp for the neighborhood.
I remember talking about it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I set a new comp for that neighborhood. It was by USF. It was at 22nd Avenue, just south of Fowler.
Okay.
A couple streets. I only made 8,000 because I made a lot of mistakes, but I still made it. But I still set the comp for the neighborhood, right? And then I did a new build. I met the AC guy. The AC guy's like, oh, I do new builds too. I'm also a GC and real good Christian man, and just we became friends, and we did a new build together. And then that was going into COVID, 2019 going into COVID. So extended out, like during COVID, they're like, oh, we can't get your trust, we can't do this. But I ended up making like 70 off that flip, or off that new build.
Okay.
But then I dumped all that money. I sold that house and dumped it all back into inventory because the shoe store was going good.
Okay.
So meeting you at the end of 2022, losing all that money, I knew I wanted to get back into real estate, and I've been in and out of it and working in it my whole life. So I had the good concept and like how I would do it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't confident. So you came along, you're like, come to this meeting. We went to Glory Days. It was a long time ago up in Del Mabry.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
And so I go there, I met a couple good people like, you know, from the sauna and other people there that I still talk to. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. So then a little afterwards, you're like, yeah, I'm starting this group, right? So I basically invested in myself, and I knew I wasn't ready cash-wise at that day, joining the group. But I knew that was the route I was going. So I was investing in myself and putting myself in the right room and surrounding myself with the right people. Because what I didn't have, being a few years off of real estate, was the confidence to walk back into it.
Almost like the connections too of like multiple facets that you may need to go.
Correct, yeah, the connections, the confidence, just everything. How am I gonna find a deal, like from A to Z?
Yeah.
So what I gained from joining the group was a business partner, which led me to wholesaling, which didn't work out.
Did you guys make any money?
We made 60, but we were spending like 44, like 4,200 a month. So like overall, like I think I came out of pocket like I don't know, I lost money though, basically. From like the startup and all that. What's that?
With the wholesaling, you
with the wholesaling,
over enough time because of your marketing spend?
Yep.
Yeah.
And like the money that I put in to start it.
Damn.
Because I was looking for just places to like put money in, you know?
Yeah. I got some.
Let me lose my money. Let me lose more money. And then I kind of just started noticing stuff earlier this year, like how many wholesalers there were, how hard it was to like come across a deal. There's like 50 to 100 wholesalers bidding on the same house.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm like, I told my partner Raphael, that's in EIMG, I was like, we need to get out of it. He wasn't so sure. He's like, no, let's do this. I'm like, let's just look at the numbers and let it speak for himself. If you want to do it, let's cap it at a certain like time period. We gave it 2 months, right? After 3 weeks, I think I went back to him and I'm like, bro, look, like we're just bleeding. I was like, I know you have high hopes and you put so much into it, which I get, right? For me, I would have cut it that day. But like, I understand people's emotional ties. Yeah, and he put so much work and time into building that system that I can't say I did. He did that, right? Yeah. So I'm like, all right, let me give it to him. But I'm like, look, it's not it, right? And then we had the crew from Ohio jumping around again, but the 6-unit townhouses that I rehabbed in Ohio, I brought the crew down here knowing that I was gonna do flips. So I'm like, let's just do remodels for people. Which led to another collab in EIMG with Johnny Kramer, which gave me even more confidence and kind of almost like a mentorship of watching him, how he does everything. And just like, okay, cool, like now I understand even more and just a good grasp of what the market is in 2025. And then we started our own flip. Yeah. And I know I've jumped around a lot, but before that, in 2024, I bought, what I was saying before is I took out like around 700,000 out of the company instead of just putting it into crypto or other investments and just to live off of. And then I bought a building for 120,000.
You bought a building for 120,000?
Yes.
Why?
A 6-unit building. I had a friend in Ohio who I thought was a friend, and he was like, oh, I'm doing all this.
Hold on. Let's go back. You said, I had a friend in Ohio, and you said, who I thought was a friend. Yep. What happened?
He burnt me on a lot of money.
Dude, do you feel like you get burned by a lot of people? I feel like that's like a really common theme.
Yes.
Why?
I feel like because I'm a people person, so instead of just like, doing contracts or like looking into stuff super hard, I go off of like gut feelings and just like stuff like that. So over the years, I've learned like, I don't need all those partnerships and just like how to maneuver a little better. But I feel like when you make a lot of money and other people don't, a lot of people try to take advantage or they feel like they're entitled to stuff. there's a lot of entitlement I've seen over the years.
Do you still trust your gut feeling? It's led you wrong.
I trust it more than ever because I didn't trust my gut feeling when it told me, hey, do this with this person or don't do this with this person, because these are like, I saw signs, right? And I didn't listen to my gut. I'm like, no, he's a good guy. He's my friend. He would never just do that. Oh, he runs off with the money, right? From the with part of the money from the shoe store, right? So, but in me, all the signs were there, right? So over the years, I'm to the point in the last couple years where I'm listening to my gut more.
Okay.
And I'm not ignoring it now.
Okay.
So, so basically how it is, like I bought the building, a whole building, 6-unit townhouses connected.
Yeah.
In Cleveland, Ohio. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna be the GC, I'll run it, perfect, I don't have to be there. After the first month, he stopped sending me pictures, all this stuff. I'm paying out money, all the plumbing's supposed to be done, the electric. So I just show up and I'm like, damn, all the plumbing's done. It's 2 stories. I'm like, there's just like hanging pipes and just like, they just like put it up, but like half the plumbing was done.
Okay.
And done wrong.
Yeah.
So like, and then I'm like, damn, I just lost like probably like 20, 30,000 just by him paying out subs. And it wasn't that he intentionally tried to like burn me. What happened with him is that he got in over his head. He's never done 6 units at once. He's done 1 flip at once.
Yeah.
So he didn't know how to manage people. Because what I'm seeing is he's having people work over other people. Instead of being like, hey, the electric needs to be done, like roughed in first. Oh, he had the guy drywall it, now we have to go back. Like stuff that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Because if you're just coordinating between everybody, then that stuff won't happen or you'll minimize it. So I went and kicked him out and just took over and lived there for 4 months. And all during this time, the girl I was seeing for a little while was pregnant. So like, I'm like, oh, you're pregnant, but I gotta go to Ohio and live for 4 months.
Yeah.
Basically, I would fly back for a day for doctor appointments. Fly there for a day to Tampa and then come right back and then start working again.
Damn.
I brought up a crew, I called people. My whole life is just like connections and just meeting people and meeting really, really good connects. So I call up someone, they put me in contact with some people from Tallahassee, Miami. I'm like, hey, if you come out here, I'll give you a spot to stay. I have 6 units, we need a rehab. So I brought up the crew at the time. We knocked it out in 4 months and got it all done, and I worked with them. And and now the building's all rented out. I cashed out, refied it, got a good chunk of it back. I was into it for like 468. Got a good chunk back, and then cash flow like 3,000.
A month?
A month.
Right now you are?
Well, as of last month I was, but I'm just evicting 2 tenants right now. So for the next 2 or 3 months, I'll probably be like a little less.
Yeah. You've done so many things, and some of them didn't go the way you wanted them to. How does that give you confidence to know that what you're doing now is the right path? Does it? Do you feel like you're on the right path?
100%. I already see the next like few years of what it's gonna look like, and I have it all mapped out. I feel like I'm more on the right path than ever, and I just need to know that right now I'm just waiting for a few things to come about and like happen, and just knowing my timing, right? Like I'm not trying to hurry up and be some big real estate developer. I have plans of that, but I have certain timelines. So it's just about timing and knowing that everything's not gonna happen now, and not trying to rush stuff, and just, like I said in the beginning, just having faith. And
Do you feel like you're a patient person?
yes, I learned patience. I've learned, because you have to be patient. A lot of people try to rush and they're like, oh, what's my life and I gotta do this and this and this, or they're like trying to like do too much. Like you have to know your position, right? And timing. So they're like, oh, I wanna sell courses, right? I wanna sell like, I wanna sell some type of course, or I wanna be this big person in Instagram, right? Well, that's not your timing right now, and you're trying to like skip steps. So you need to know like timing is everything, and just know like if you pick your goal, set your steps and stick to it, and you can see that time and not try to like skip those steps, that it will come. So I've learned patience, and I've learned like that's how I guess like I can like last like this week I lost 77,000, right?
And
on
what?
Sunday on XRP. I went to go sell, and one of the exchanges locked my account.
What? So it's gone?
So right now there's a possibility, but there's a lot of steps we have to jump through.
Dang.
So I'm just chalking it up as a loss, and if I get it back, cool. And I got out the rest. I just sold it to a friend, which I should have just hit him up. before.
So like this is the part where I'm not trying to say that you're on a bad path or anything. I'm not trying to like dig into what you've done and say that it was wrong. But like, have you ever felt the conviction before that you're like, I believe so strongly in this, but then that faltered?
Yes.
So then like, do you ever wrestle with the idea that like, how do you know this is the right thing at the right time now?
Or do I just not know it and I just believe certain stuff?
Yeah.
No, because I have to go through those. I don't have someone guiding me or like someone that can really teach me in a lot of stuff. So I have to go through those things to learn. If I repeat it, the same thing, that's where the mistake is, or that's where like I would feel really bad, right? But I hold myself accountable. I'm not putting blame. Oh, it was his fault that the trucking company didn't work. No, it was my fault because I didn't look at the whole picture at the time, right? So now I know going into the next business, right, that this is what I'm gonna do differently. And I'm taking each lesson and bringing it into the next business. I'm not the traditional investor, like someone that has the educational like background as most investors. So I'm kind of just doing it how I know how to do it and how I've taught myself and I've got so far. So I do have conviction in that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
All right.
Do you feel like patience is a strength?
100%.
Do you feel like successful people have to have patience to be successful, to be the way that they are?
Yeah, you have to have patience.
Always? In all things?
Give me an example.
Okay. Do you think I'm successful?
Yes.
Do you think I'm patient?
Yes.
How am I patient?
You see the long-term gain. Like you're not like, oh, let me make a business decision right now for a little gain or something that might not align with your values or in any aspect, and just do that. Like you're gonna like, even if a business deal takes 6 months, you're gonna go the right path. Are you patient? Do I have that wrong?
I'm not a patient.
You're not a patient?
I'm extremely impatient.
Okay.
I want results for stuff that we're involved in. I want results yesterday.
And I want that too. But in your business dealings, how do you wait 6 months and like see it through?
Well, I try to operate at the speed at which we can do the right steps at the right time. Because if you like, haste makes waste. If you hustle into the wrong thing, and like let's say we're doing a rezoning on something, and we submit like the wrong documentation because we're like, we had to get it done that day. Like we might have to start over. That might set us back 2 weeks, 4 weeks. And so like those things compounded over enough time, you learn that like, get it to where it's sufficient that it's not a mistake. Do it as rapidly as you can with the confidence that it's correct.
Okay.
So I forget, I think it was Patton. It was like, if you're making a plan for war, an 80% plan started and executed very aggressively, very violently today is going to likely take most people way more successfully down the road than like waiting for a 100% plan executed at a future date to be determined.
Okay.
So that's the reason why, is because I think most of us, I consider myself competing against the clock. Like indecision costs. I've seen it cost a lot of investors. I've seen it cost a lot of business owners. Like you are always competing against the clock.
Okay. So putting it that way, I would change my answer, right?
I'm not trying to change you.
No.
I think it's a very engaging discussion.
Because now, like in a different context, I guess, right? Because I understand what you're saying and like how you're putting it now. So yes, like in that aspect, I'm not patient because like look at everything. oh, we're opening up, we're gonna move into the mall and take the risk. We're gonna do this and do that like really quick.
Yeah.
And I'll if I have conviction, I'll pull the trigger really quick. But I guess where my patience comes in is when stuff goes wrong and like multiple things are going wrong and just like stuff is stacking up. I have patience of knowing that it's gonna work out, right? That we're doing everything that we can do, and that, hey, instead of just losing it and it's an end-all situation, I have patience in that situation, in that moment where I know it's gonna work out. So
Yeah.
I guess when you asked that question, that's what I was attributing it to.
And I'm like, we're friends. I'm not trying to change your mind. I think
you're
this is
making
like
me think,
this
and
is a
which I
good
like. Yeah.
this is a good discourse. I'm not trying to.
I love this.
I'm cool with a respectful, like, courteous argument on it. I think it's good back and forth. And I'm not trying to change your mind, but I'm pretty set in how I feel about this. I really am, because I've seen, and this is what's cool about doing small business. This is what's cool about being an entrepreneur is like, what might be your strength that you work to your advantage, I have a totally opposite way of looking at it, and that's my strength that I use to my advantage in a totally separate way. And we can get along, and you go off and you do your way, and I go off in my do way, and we can be successful in that our own paths. But I feel like people I've seen so many people just say things like, good things come to those who wait, or like, oh, I'm not going to plug into this opportunity, I'm going to wait. And
no, I'm a go-getter. I'm going to go and get it.
I don't think good things come to those who wait. I think for what we've achieved and the direction we're continuing to go, good things come to those who earn it through work. This isn't a hustle culture, kind of like go get 'em speech. I've seen where, okay, can I go from 0 to knowing enough to make a decision and taking action, even if it's just 1%, that much that day? Okay, well now, what happens is, by doing that 1%, it's opened up this other door and this other opportunity that I didn't even realize was present on that path before. So like I had to have done that. And if I would have mapped it all out, like it might have taken me this direction. But when you're 3 steps in, you realize it's not actually that direction that you're going to end up going.
Yep.
And so I believe that the path to growth.
You just say, I feel like, not to interrupt you, you just like describe my whole life.
The path to growth, the path to success gets unlocked by taking that next step. And many days it will feel a way you didn't think it would feel, and you'll feel bad maybe. You don't have to love all this process, by the way. I think you just have to realize it's true.
Yep. And just start believing in it though. And believing, like I said before, like having faith, whatever that means to you, but having faith in the process and in yourself. Right? And in God, like, because then even when it's wrong and, oh, I took a $200,000 hit, I took a $70,000, $77,000 hit. Yes, it hurts, but it doesn't bother me as much. I know it's part of the process, and I know I'm on that road.
Where I struggle to reconcile it, this is just me personally, is I expect success. I expect success. So when I achieve something that was a goal that I set out for, cool. What's the next thing? That's the standard. You performed at standard, James.
Yeah.
Go again. Again. I feel like I'm the guy from that movie Miracle where he's like, again, on the hockey rink. Because like...
That's why you are who you are.
Okay, I get that. So what's the inner dialogue when it's a loss? Because you can't win every day. You can't win.
Well, how far, when it's a loss, how far can you grow from that loss?
How far can you grow?
Like in your mind, on a mental level, in a learning level of, hey, I'm not gonna do this next time. But mentally, how far can you take yourself? That's how I look at it as like almost, I don't know how I'd put it, like a game or a lesson or something like that, but like, okay, am I gonna lose it on my employees and like the people around me and my team, today because I took a loss? Or am I gonna level up in my head and learn from it and mitigate that and just go Hulk and go do more business and make that like a burning like sensation that I want more, basically.
Yeah.
And put that, because that's how I feel. Like, okay, what am I gonna do now?
Yeah. The loss will create this shining, blinding light into the gap where you thought you knew something, but you didn't. And that gap, the further that gap is, the worse that you fall or failed. And I think where I struggle is I can talk about this with you in an air conditioned room, but like when I'm actually experiencing it, yeah, it's hot. no, but like we're in a calm setting, right? Like I don't have an imminent loss I'm dealing with. I don't have like an imminent failure that I'm dealing with when I get out of this podcast with you. Like it's gonna be fine today. So we can talk about this in this calm setting, but on that day, in that cycle, in that month, whenever, where I experienced that principle I'm talking about, it sucks. There's not a better way to put it. Like it. That's the challenge.
It's who we are, though. Like, we're gonna take losses because we take the risk, and with that comes growth. And just, that's how I look at it. I can't speak for anyone else, but for me, it's, it's who we are. There's gonna be highs and lows. And when we're up, it's not as good as it seems, and when we're down, it's not as bad as we seem.
When I was in SEAL training, they tell you during first phase is like it's the very arduous like physical conditioning.
Okay.
You have 3 weeks of first phase until Hell Week, and Hell Week it's pretty challenging.
Okay.
And they tell you they're like, just go to your next meal. Like, don't think about what's ahead. Don't think about what's in next week. Don't think about what's later today. Just like get to breakfast, dude. And then after breakfast, like you're doing something that's hard, like just focus on getting to lunch. And I think about that, and I remember seeing, I don't know why I remember this so vividly, and I didn't even think anything of it at the time, but I was in first phase at the time, and I saw my buddy. You see your buddies kind of around, but they're in a different class, so like they're either ahead or behind you in training. And so he wasn't in first phase yet. He had yet to experience any of that, so I was like ahead of him in training. And I was just like going around, and he's like, dude, you're always so happy. Like, I was like, I'm happy? Like, he's like, dude, every time I see you when you're around lunchtime or whatever, you're just super stoked. And I didn't even realize, but I had just been turning that into my game. That was just like a mental game to me. And Buds is just totally, it's all mental. It's all mental. The fastest runner usually quits. The fastest runner in Buds usually quits the first week. He's the most gifted athlete, and he usually quits.
Wow.
Yeah, but I had just turned this into my game, and it's just like, I want to win the game, and for me to win the game, I have to condition my mind to enjoy the challenge and like relish in this micro milestone, which was lunch.
I love that.
And I didn't even realize I was doing it. And I think about that now, and I'm like, am I doing that same thing in some way in this business? Maybe I am.
That's how I feel. I'll never be to the level of going to Buds or anything like that, but in my own right, in my own path, that's how I kind of look at everything and do that and just kind of have that outlook.
Yeah. What are you most excited about these days as we kind of round out our session here?
Just, my daughter, she's 10 months old, bringing my family together, just spending time with my family, being in a position financially where I can set up the investments and businesses where I can, go to Italy or go to Europe and take my whole family with me for 3 months and just get that time in with them. Like, I'm more looking for peace after everything, all the turbulent ups and downs.
Past decade?
Past 20 years I've been through.
Do you take vacations?
Yes, I love traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love traveling and getting away as much as I can, But next year, once my daughter's older, I'm gonna travel even more. But so far, I've traveled twice with her.
Cool.
By myself, where she was able to, I brought her on the plane and just got that full experience and took her out to my family, stuff like that. So, but just looking forward to spending time and building what I've set up like working towards those steps that I've set up. Like I said, like the real estate development, more flips, like X amount of flips every year, and just getting to that point where it's like, all right, you know.
What's your development goal?
My development goal, I would say just do like one development, like at least invest in one development by the end of this year, right? And then that's gonna kind of go from like, all right, so there's no direct development goal, right? There's no direct development goal, but like I've been talking to a few people.
Yeah.
And
like, I think I know the one.
Yeah, Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I own it right now, right?
Yeah, I know. I know.
Have we talked about it yet?
No, I just let you guys talk about it.
Yeah.
But I already know. So I want to get in those 4 townhouses.
Yeah.
And then from that experience, the mistakes and wins and all that, I want to take that into the next year and at least do 2 other developments. That's my goal. Okay. 10 flips next year, minimum.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
10 flips minimum. So you're going to be closing on one every month.
Yeah, which I'm having trouble with, right?
Why? Finding
I'm
right
having
deals?
trouble finding deals.
Yeah.
You know, we're being over conservative, I guess, Raphael and me, in this market and flips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we're yet to make those connections where it's like, oh, before it goes out, it's coming directly to us, you know? But I have a few different things that is gonna, I guess, help mitigate those problems pretty soon, which I think is gonna bring us to the forefront of finding those deals.
Or just hit up every wholesaler in the group.
Yeah.
And
we do that, you know. And maybe it's a problem inside of us, how we're underwriting it or something like that, but that's why working with people in the group, like Johnny and stuff, we're learning a lot.
I think that's smart.
Even by the underwriting process, not like the whole process, we're learning a lot. So then we build our confidence.
I think that's smart these days to be willing to say no to deals where you're like, I'm not super confident in this ability to make us money. I think I've made this joke before, but I think right now in the market, 30K becomes 0 real quick. You're like, oh, we're gonna make 30K on this flip.
We're seeing it every day.
Yeah.
People are taking losses or walking away from their EMDs.
Yeah. I see what's working well for us is like focus very specifically on my criteria. I get sent 20 deals a day and I'm like, I don't even look at 19 of them or whatever, you get the point. I don't even look at most of them because they're not in my specific zone of where I want to be doing our projects, where like we can run our playbook.
Yeah.
That works well for us because it preserves my bandwidth to pursue the best deals. So we actually got sent one about 5 days ago, and I started looking. I was like, "This is actually a really good deal. I just need this guy to tie it up." Somebody's selling a few, like an assemblage of parcels, under where they bought it for 3 years ago.
Okay.
I'm like, and it's in a spot that I like. So we'll look at getting it done.
Yep.
Cool, man. Thanks for joining us on the show.